Hello Pisces, thank you for tuning into your general read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Modern Spellcaster's Tarot by Melanie Marquis, illustrated by Scott Murphy. For the support of Oracle cards, I'm going to use the Angel Answers Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. Cards have already been shuffled. Let's see what we got. Okay, now, whatever we're dealing with, there's a lot of contemplation time here going on. I feel like this is going to work out to your benefit. The whole thing seems to overall work to your benefit. I feel like there may be some rough moments, but I don't know if it's just what you have to deal with. We'll have to see as we keep going, because it might be just what you have to deal with. Especially being a Pisces myself, it makes me wonder. When you're going in, you have these two cards. You have the Nine of Cups plus Success. So you're going into this situation, seeing all the possibilities, and feeling that one of these things has to work out for you. And it feels really good, but I feel you're also apprehensive. It's a very exciting moment to think about all the possibilities. I feel like you're actually enjoying that moment. Like it's almost like a kid in the candy store feeling. Like there's so much you can do, but it's one of those things where you're like, I have to choose one, and when I'm choosing, I got to go that direction. But while I'm here, just the thought of the choice is so much fun. Like I could go so many different ways with this. But you're also looking at this a little realistically. Like even though there's all these possibilities, like some of these are better than others for different reasons depending on what you're doing. So even though there's all like the candy store, all this candy, say you don't like, I don't know, licorice. A lot of people don't. Say you don't like hard candy. So you're like okay, all these are here, but I don't want those. I don't want these. I don't want anything too spicy. I don't want anything too sour. Like you're going through and you're like, let me see what I really want. But there's definitely, like, even though all these possibilities are here, which we're drowning to death on, I'm getting, even though all that's there, there's only certain ones you're taking seriously that you would truly enjoy. But you can't seem to choose just yet. And this is why you need this contemplate. You're contemplating a lot through this situation, because I'm feeling there's more to this. Because first you have to decide what you want, and then you have to decide, or have to go through, like, what is this going to do to things around you? How is this going to affect things around you? And I feel like you're also, like, you got this active listening card going on. This is mutual between you and other people, I'm getting. You have these opportunities, but you're seeing what other people think about them. I feel like people are also trying to find out what you think about them. Like, it's kind of like, not only are you like kind of narrowing it down to, like, I feel like you're looking at it knowing what you definitely don't want. But you're also kind of like bouncing it off of people, seeing what they think about these possibilities, like what could go better down the road, what might have hidden pitfalls, what have other people experienced. There's a lot going on here. This is, again, part of that contemplation time, but you're actively getting out there and like gathering information, but just talking about it, not making that choice just yet. But I'm getting, as this is happening, somebody around you is kind of upset. And they're feeling like this is going to bring about a change that they may not be ready for, or to them it's not ideal. Because I feel like they're looking at this. You're having all these possibilities is going to create a change. It's going to create a change in not only your life, but their life as well. Somebody seems to be feeling like this is going to change their life as well. Now, I'm wondering, because I'm getting two different scenarios. One is like, it's a family thing, and somebody in your family is like seeing it's going to change how you live, like either your schedule or where something is going to definitely change. Or there's a second one I'm picking up a little bit, like, it's coworkers, and you're either going to move into a position of power or you're moving on to another job, that type of thing, where I feel like they're holding back that they really don't want you to go, but they're they're definitely happy for you, but they don't want you to go. I feel like whoever's around you, like somebody's putting out a false front because they don't want the change because of how it's going to affect them. But I feel like they're putting out a false front. They're not. I feel like they might just seem a little cold about the situation, which is interesting because that's usually like a Pisces trait. Like sometimes, if we don't want to deal with something or we're not ready to, we don't know what to say about it, we might go cold and just not react to it at all. And I feel like that's kind of what we're getting from someone else, whoever it is. And it may just seem a little cold, like they're not really reacting at all. But the reason is they don't really want the change, but they don't want to rob you of your happiness. Is that correct? Yeah, okay. And I feel like they're holding on to this. They got the don't stop here. I feel like they're going to probably keep that up. I feel like the don't stop is also for you to not press the issue because it's going to work out the same way. There's no need to create a situation about it. I feel it's better for you to know about it, but to not to poke the bear, that sort of say. Because I feel like it could be an issue, but it's not likely you're going to poke the bear, I don't think. But they're just saying let it lie. It's not bad that you want to do this change. It's a good thing. This was brought to you for a reason. But when somebody seems to be acting cold or a little bit aloof about it, let them be. They're fine. It'll work out in the long run for them. They're just not ready for it, but it's going to work out in the long run for them too. It'll be fine. Because they're going to end up, I feel like this change is upsetting somebody around you. But they're upset about it, but I don't feel like it's really bad. It's just the change itself. Some people have a hard time with change, period. We're good? I feel like that's kind of like coming to a cliff and just ending. Like the connection is just, like this, whatever they're going to, I feel like they're kind of keeping that to themselves for the most part. But I don't feel like you're completely oblivious to it. And that's where you get this card. The 10 of Wands. Because I feel like you're realizing, you know what, I need to make these changes. I need to do this. And it is going to be good for everybody going forward. It is going to work out at some point at least. But you are feeling this apprehension around you. You do seem connected to it. Whether it be in an empathy type way or just like picking up on the subtle clues. Being a Pisces myself, I don't know how this is going to sound, but typically we are pretty much... we get caught in the thick of it sometimes. And sometimes we kind of suck in other people's emotions and not realize it's other people's emotions. But I feel like in this case, I don't think you're going to realize if that's the case. In the sense of like, if you're picking up something, I feel like you're pulling in somebody else's energy, but you're knowing it. If you're pulling out something else like that, I don't feel like it's really coming to the forefront. This is more about this other person and you're aware that they're unhappy. And it may be pulling in a little bit of sadness for you, but they're telling me that might be what you're not realizing. When you're feeling a little sadness, you're kind of plugging into somebody else that you care about and kind of like living it with them. Really? That's not fun. I've done that. Probably more than I know. All right, moving on. Oblivious. Isn't it fun? Now, you got the Hierophant with the big happy changes. You are so aware that, it's going to be a little rough going through the change. But you're also seeing, like, this is worth it. It's going to be worth it. You're excited about it. I feel like there's a little bit of guilt attached with it because you are very excited about it. Very excited about it. The guilt is only because you know somebody else around you is not over the moon about it and they're upset about it. That's the only place there's guilt, but this is not a bad thing. The Hierophant is here, I feel like, only because you're realizing somebody is going to be upset, and it does weigh on you. You do have a very emotional connection to this, and you're just like, you'd rather they were just happy too, and legitimately happy to do this, but you're aware they're not. Yet it's a good thing, and you're gonna keep going. Because I see this going forward. You're realizing you are excited about it. You're just feeling I feel a little guilty is what I'm getting here, because you're gonna go forward with it. And you got two cards explaining this. You have the Six of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. Realizing that somebody's feeling left out in the cold, one way or the other, but you're definitely going forward. And I also feel like you might be a little too busy to over-center on that at this point. But it still weighs on you. And I'm seeing like what you're gonna do or what they're advising you do is just to see, like, just read between the lines a little bit. I feel like it's gonna be fine. I just feel like the only drawback to the whole situation is that you're aware that somebody you care about is not on board, and they don't want the change. For some of you, it's just a schedule change of some sort. And I feel like it's just changing their life up, and they're just unhappy that it's changing their life up. It's really not that bad. And I'm getting like, I don't feel like I don't feel like this is putting anybody in a world of hurt. I just feel like it's the reaction. It's the perception of the situation at the moment. It is going to get better. But they're saying just look for the sign, watch things get better. I feel like it's going to be fine for the most. I mean, it's a general read, but you definitely are going forward with this. You choose what you need to. I know this may sound weird, but I almost feel like when you realize this person is going to be upset no matter what choice you make, I feel like it kind of frees you up to just choose what you actually want. Because I feel like you're looking at this like, if they're going to be upset anyway, I might as well make sure I make this worth it and get what I really want. So I feel like you do get what you truly want, because you're like, well, if I'm going to do this to somebody, they're going to end up with this moment of Three of Swords. It's heartbreak. You're definitely choosing something. You might as well get what you really want if you're going to put them through this as it is. Did we kind of put this all together? I feel like we put this all together, but I am getting like on the other side, you're feeling, the only reason you're having like any type of sadness or drawback from this situation, the only reason is how it's affecting somebody else around you. And I feel like they're trying to keep it together and not be a downer about it, but I feel like you know them too well, and you know about whoever this is, how they're reacting. You could see between the lines here. You're feeling it. You know. But I'm getting that it's good for everybody in the long run. It's just gonna, once they settle into it and move forward, once it kind of like pans out, you know what I mean, shakes out a bit, it's gonna be fine. There's really nothing bad here. I'm getting that there's really nothing bad here. It's just how it's being perceived on this other side. Is that good? Good. All right, I think I'm going to ramp that up there because I'm feeling like I'm going to start going in circles. So if you'd like a reading from me, go ahead and shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.